Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mediak. And I'm sorry if there is an echo. As you can see, I'm clearly adjusting to a new space, so that's something that we're just going to have to deal with today. It's a very massive shame because of the topic of today's episode. But before we jump into that, as usual, we got Skylar over there to the right, Chandler over there, and me, Zach, down over here. For either of you, is this your first time watching the movie Whiplash? For both?
Before we get into it, I want to ask how moving has been.
Sucked. I'm so tired. It's late. I haven't showered yet. It was gross. We cleaned it. Still probably a little gross. And we're not going to be close to done even this week. But you know what? That's just that's the average moving experience. So
it really is.
Yeah.
You think moving day is one day, but then it turns to the next 2 weeks.
Yep. I was like, oh, moving day is going to be one day. And then day 2 is just going to be sorting everything. And I literally finished up about 5 minutes after we were supposed to start the podcast. So that's how my experience moving has went so far. But you know what? It's okay. What can you do about it? Let's jump into it.
It is what it is.
Yeah, that's true. And Chandler said no. Skylar, yes, maybe. So?
I think I've seen bits and pieces of this movie before. Whenever I was watching it, a lot of it looked decently familiar.
I know I forced you to watch at least one scene because the first time I was watching it, whenever me and you lived together, not whenever me and you lived together, I got to a really fucking funny scene. And I was like, Skylar.
I wasn't throwing the chair.
No, it was the dinner scene where he was like, "Those are 4 words the NFL will never say to you," or something like that. I was like, "That's the scene I brought you in for," which is just so fucking crazy. For anyone sitting in
insane insult.
I know it was his dad clapped back with an even meaner one though. But does anyone want to recap what happened in this movie for the losers who haven't seen it?
Oh, I can do my best.
Go ahead.
So there is this. Is he a teenager? I think he's 19?
Yeah, he's a freshman in college.
Yeah. So his dad is the only one around. His mother's not here. His dad is a English teacher because he was supposed to be a writer. Didn't work out. And this boy's passion is drumming. He's been drumming since he was a little kid. And he wants to make it really big. There's a couple famous drummers that he listens to, but Buddy Rich is what I would guess his favorite. It's the only one that's shown a lot. And he gets called up to, he goes to this music school, and he gets called up to like the
big leagues.
I know it's called studio, but I don't know where it is in relation. But he gets called up to the higher one that's like the elite.
Yeah.
And
the cool kid.
He's at an elite school serving the elite one in the elite band. And it goes from there and shows his journey, the ups, the downs. He gets, I don't know if you want me to go into specifics, but...
You don't have to go into specifics. Basically, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he gets kicked out. He joins a pro band, and it ends with him giving a solo at a jazz event. I forget what it is. I think it's like the JVC.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
JCV, something like that, but... He gives an event, and that's where the movie cuts off.
It's one of those movies. Hey, wait. I guess I should say this. I should ask this question first before I jump into the next thing I was going to say. Did you guys like it? Like, what did you? Yes, no, maybe so.
So
fuck you guys. Like, come on. This is one of the greats.
Hey, I'm not done yet.
Okay.
So. I think there's a lot that I really like about this.
Okay.
But the main drawback is I do not relate to music at all. I know.
Switch it with something else then. You like volleyball and he's playing volleyball.
And I don't know what half of it means.
That's fair.
It's so difficult.
I don't know. I felt like I was able to everything that I needed to know. I
relate to his frustrations.
Yeah.
But I don't relate to a lot of the themes and like the exact moments that are so music related and so music like influenced, because I just simply don't understand.
I really disagree with that. I feel like you get all of the beats, like the big event was the big game, and it was like be there for the game, and he wasn't there for the game. Like what parts did you not get?
So that end when he had like the pro, it was essentially just like he just happened to be in the right place at the right time and get called up there.
Well, he had that connection that brought him into that situation, and the guy brought him there for this. Well, he wanted him there. He didn't just he invited him for that. But you mean
he got invited?
Yeah, he literally was like, "Hey, I want you to be in this JVC thing."
Oh, I'm talking about before, like how he originally saw
at the bar.
Fleck after, yeah.
Yeah, I think that I don't think that's that big of a thing. What was it?
I know he walked in because of the name, but like that was it.
I think that's fine. It was like several months down the line after the guy was fired. I mean, if he's just walking and he sees a jazz thing, that just kind of makes sense that he'd walk in and say hi to him, especially after what happened.
What was some of the others? Like I mean, I couldn't tell at some parts whenever he was drumming alone. I couldn't tell if he was drumming just to get off frustration or if he was practicing. I mean, one had
practice.
Nobody's drum set, but I didn't know which one to take it as because it looked like it was both, but it's hard to imagine.
It probably was both, honestly.
It's hard to imagine that he's able to focus that intently on a tempo while being so frustrated that he's like making his hands bleed from drumming.
I think that's realistic.
Yeah, making your hands bleed from drumming is very realistic.
No, I meant all of that. Like, especially if you're pissed off and he wants you to move faster. He wants you to.
Yeah, but I feel like I wouldn't be able to focus. I'd just be so angry that I wouldn't be able to look past that or
that's
like
fair.
Focus enough to maintain that.
Do you remember that part where they're like trying to get that certain beat for hours?
Yeah.
Before, I think I wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, yeah. Well, I think Skylar was complaining about like the scenes where he was alone, and he didn't like that.
Yeah. Well, not that I didn't like them. I just couldn't relate to them.
You never practiced alone?
I have, but never where I was so frustrated but able to focus on something so intently. It's usually one or the other. I'm either because he.
But could you relate with the fact that someone would be able to do that?
I understand that somebody could do that, but it's hard for me to relate with that because I can't do that.
That's fair.
So that makes it unrelatable to me.
That's fair.
But I also, I mean, I at the beginning I was a little confused why he did not have friends, and that was one of the things I wrote down. And then I saw, I figured out why.
Yeah, I mean, the movie kind of really shows that to you.
Yeah, but that's like another one. I didn't find.
Why is that another one? It literally, the movie showed it to you.
I can't relate to that. And it's something I can't relate to.
Yeah. But like,
I can't relate to not having at least one.
You got to relate to every aspect of a movie. Like, how do you relate to?
No, and I'm talking about how relatable it is.
That's fair, but I feel like does relatability need to impact like your enjoyment of the movie?
Well, whenever it's a movie like this and it wants me to get really intense and really into it, I feel like the more I relate to it, the more intense.
I guess, but I never felt like I needed to relate with Neiman. I just was kind of watching this guy who you could really tell that he wanted to be something big and him just like attempt at it. Like I never was like, oh, I want to be this thing. It was more like, this sucks for this guy. Like this is a shitty life. And he just keeps going at it because he's determined as fuck.
Do you think it is a shitty life?
I mean, okay.
The whole way through?
If it's like, I honestly, here's the thing, okay? I do my interpretation of the ending was that he fucking killed it at the end there, but he said everything that you do here they will remember, and he got revenge on the guy by not giving him the sheet, and I think that's going to impact him somehow. I think he's going to go into a band, but I don't think it's going to be like the Lincoln one, the one that he was like super into.
Chandler, I do not mean to cut you off. I so want your opinion in 1 second, But don't you remember earlier in the movie when he said the one person messed up so bad he got laughed at, and then he came back the next year and blew everybody away with the best?
That is true, actually.
Wouldn't that just be that, but on shorter scale?
You're right, actually. Yeah. I don't know. I like that ending though. I like how like that. And there's a movie that came out recently called Juror Number 2, where it really shows you what exactly is going to happen in the next scene. So like, if you're not creative, you could be like, oh, that's what it is. But like. I like whenever it doesn't just hand you everything. I did actually have a problem with the end. Not the entirety of the end, but specifically where Fletcher, that was his name, right? Fletcher?
Yeah.
Where he basically like sat down at a table and said the theme to Neiman. I was like, I wasn't the biggest fan of that, because like that to me was someone
Which table are you talking about? Which time? I think they said
the very end of the movie where
bar?
in the bar where he literally for like 5 minutes just said the reason for watching the movie to him. And I like in that moment I was like, oh dude, that's some corpo guy who was like, yo, people won't understand this movie unless you tell them what it's about. So we have to make a scene with it. Yeah, how would you get it if it's not told to you? I think that's what that scene was, because I feel like you really get it. Like you really do. Especially from the like just everything of the movie. There's not much to get. Like Skylar got it, he just wasn't the biggest fan of it because he didn't relate to it, you know?
Chandler, what were your opinions?
I kind of like the movie. Again, I didn't relate to it whatsoever.
Why is that so important?
Music, I didn't understand whenever Fletcher was like, all right, take it at yada yada on a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start,
He just meant like at a specific line. It was like 30 seconds.
Okay.
He essentially was saying 30 seconds into the song instead, you know?
Okay, so yeah, all of that terminology went over my head. So I kind of just knew, like, again, like what you said, it's part of the song.
Yeah.
Take it from here at this tempo. So I mean, I was able to piece that together, but still, it's like I definitely was lost in the beginning. It was a lot of music, and I don't necessarily care for drum music, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't entertaining.
Nope.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, but like, just seeing a bunch of just smacking the drums, it wasn't that super entertaining for me. I actually kind of felt slow at times. But I will say they did a very good job at immersing the viewer, because I was getting like third, fourth, fifth hand cringe from how Fletcher was like ridiculing and just berating these people with insults.
Because the amazing acting and the amazing cinematography. Like one thing that I think I wrote a lot down, because this is honestly so fun facts. This is my birth month, February, so I decided to be an asshole and pick every single movie for this month. And I picked this one to start because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And they're just ripping it to shreds. What?
Gift from Mediak. We let Zach pick all the movies for this month.
Yeah, that was the Mediak gift. But like the first 15 minutes, the camera heightens on specific things that he's focusing on to show that that's one of his like main characteristics, is that he pays attention and like is kind of distracted almost by like all these different aspects. Everything that he hears, he looks up, he sees it, they zoom in on his ears, they show something that he's listening to show how he's like heightening his skills and adapting from that, especially whenever they're like freestyle. And that's what he ended up doing at the end of the movie. But that they did it more so at the beginning to show you that that's what you need to be paying attention to, that anytime they have those crazy camera movements with the like trombone, I was blanking on instrument names there, or like anything out in the crowd that's super focused on, that was to show that that's what Neiman himself is really heightened with. And anytime they had like some sort of interesting movement, it always ended on either Fletcher or Neiman. It's just so beautiful. It has that je ne sais quoi, you know? I love the cinematography of this movie.
I do want to give this movie its flowers for the acting, namely J.K. Simmons. Yes. I think he was far and away the best one.
It's famous.
I feel like so early on, I was able to fully understand his character, which is so rare for me.
Yeah.
Like, in the one scene when he's yelling that somebody's out of tune.
Yeah.
I was able to see the fact that he was going to ask the wrong person. Like, I was so impressed with myself, the fact that I was like, he's obviously asking the wrong person. He's going to kick this guy out and probably the other guy out. And then he was like, oh yeah, by the way, it wasn't him. It was you. Fix it. And then he's like, but the fact that he didn't know is so much worse. So like,
and then the scene directly following that, where he like moseys up to Neiman and like pretends to be his friend just to get some information that he can use to insult him. What the fuck? Like, that's crazy. And then I also like I heavily believe that he was kind of being somewhat honest in that scene too. Because I think that if he was like, if he went in there and he said, if you just do your best, and he's expecting the best out of this guy, it'll be fine. So I think he literally was like, if you go in there and you just do what I know you can do, then everything will be okay. Just he went in there and he didn't do it perfectly. So he also warned him, technically. He was like, right before the scene, he was like, they threw a symbol at that guy's head. He warned him, technically. He was like, this is what you're going to be. Yeah.
His anger management needs checked on.
Was he wrong, though? You know?
Like chairs that?
No. We go back to the moment in the bar where he explains the theme, where he says that sometimes when you need someone great, they need to be pushed a great amount. Is he wrong?
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I don't think he's wrong either. I think that like every great out there, they had a coach that was pushing him like how Fletcher was pushing Neiman. I believe, at least.
I don't know to the same extent. Like
I've not
he scores insults. I don't know.
I don't think it's necessarily needed. Like I feel you can get like a once in a life great out there that doesn't need this intense kind of coaching. But if you're trying to make a greatness, you have to like get great.
Yes,
slap the fuck into you.
Like still,
yeah. A greatness thrown via chair into your head.
Although I do have what I think is the best line in the entire thing. And it's one that was at that scene. He's like, the two most dangerous words are good job. And then his like ability to explain it. It did so well at explaining like most of his actions, his like intentions.
Yeah.
And like what he was going through. It was so good.
You can tell that though. Like that's I love that is a fantastic line on paper, in my opinion, because I think the scene where right before he gets hit by the car shows off that more than anything else. Because the part was given to the ginger, and then he was like, it's my part. And the guy got mad, obviously, but then gave him a chance. That was his version of good job in that moment, essentially. Like, not good job, but like saying that you're the guy, like for the part, because he still gave him that other chance to do it, even though he did get hit by a car and then tackle him.
Yeah. I kind of wish that came up at another point. Like, I mean, I get why it didn't, because he didn't care. Like, you know, he cared more about getting the part than the fact that he got hit by a car. Which he also probably wouldn't have cared. But it felt kind of weird because like it was a very like insane moment and nothing else happened. He kind of left the scene. Like, I feel like something should have happened there, but like at the same time, that wasn't the focus of the movie.
I do agree. I do agree that we should have heard something, but in my head, and I guess that doesn't matter. In my head, that was like the thing that the school and his dad pushed over the limit to get Fletcher fired was that bit, because that's kind of big. Like, even though he made him like draw him until his hands bleed, he never like physically did anything to him until he got hit by a car and then Fletcher kicked him out of the band.
Yeah. For the insults didn't help either.
The insults probably weren't the best. They were fucking funny though.
They were.
They were good.
Some combination of words I've never heard before.
Yeah. I loved when the guy like walked into the screen and he was like, "Get the fuck out of my face, man, before I lose my shit.
Demolish you."
Yeah, or I'll demolish you. Or he walked around with the book and he was like, if I find one of these lying around, I'll stop being so fucking kind. He's so great. He honestly is so funny. I love J.K. Simmons, one of the best actors ever to ever do it.
I do like how I'm sorry, Tan, what were you saying?
I was gonna say, can we talk about the love interest at the very end? Mm-hmm. I understand, like, was when he called her saying, "Hey, like, I know things didn't work out so well earlier. I got the show going on, and I'd love for you to be there." And like nothing happened. Like, is it because she has a boyfriend?
Yeah.
And he realized I dropped the ball, or
he was too late on it. He focused too much on his passion to do anything with that, and he was too late. You know.
Okay. Is that so? That's all they were trying to say? Like, or is there something else?
No, that was it. That was it.
Missed his chance.
Yeah,
it was either essentially her or the music, and he chose the music.
Yeah.
And then didn't realize until it was too late.
Yes.
That's what I took it as.
Well, it was mainly like he could have had both. He just actively pushed her away because he thought that he needed to do something else.
Yeah, like even at the table, she was yelling. She was like kind of like saying like, "What you're saying is fine with me. Like I understand."
Yeah, and she's like, "You know that for sure." And he was like, "Yep,
Yeah,
I do, 100%." No, you don't. No, you don't. You little liar. Come on.
Yeah.
It was amazing though. He was like, "Yeah, you're gonna ask
So upfront,
and I'm just not gonna be able to meet your demands. So
Yeah.
sorry. Like tough luck."
And he's like, it will go wrong, and it's because of you. Hate to see it.
At least you're honest, bro.
True, yeah.
I'm
Really honest. What was
The last thing I was gonna say, so I mentioned the cinematography is amazing. I love the story. I honestly think that it's insanely enjoyable. It's a quick hour 40 movie. To me, it goes by at a breakneck pace, but apparently not to you guys.
No, it didn't feel like excruciating.
That's good. That's good. At least
It felt like it was like an hour 50. It felt like it was close to 2 hours.
Yeah, that's
So-
basically what it was anyway. The only other thing I was going to mention was that, well, one, revenge is funny, and I thought it was funny how J.K. Simmons did that to him. He just was like, all right, we're just going to play a song that you don't have, which is hilarious. I love that. The other thing I was going to say is,
It's like, I know it was you right before.
yeah, great stuff. Yeah, he literally,
Dude, those people lied. They said he would never know, and yet he knew.
he knew.
Well,
Yeah,
how not though? Like you just kick someone from
yeah,
the
it's
band.
obvious who it is.
Can from being a conductor. It's like, are they really gonna just bring up a case from like a year ago out
Yeah.
of nowhere, or is there a reason for that case? You know, yeah. I assumed he knew who caused that, but whenever he walked up and said it, literally like, "You think I'm fucking stupid? I know you're told."
It's just crazy. It actually is insane.
There's like 2 scenes that I want to bring up,
Go ahead.
and I wrote them down specifically. There's like one funny scene with Andrew and his dad at the very beginning of the movie, whenever they're eating popcorn, and the dad puts, yes, exactly, fucking raisinets in there.
Yeah.
I just don't understand you. He was so okay with everything else,
Well,
but except for the raisinets in the popcorn.
no, his dad liked the raisinets and the popcorn. Andrew wanted to eat around the raisinets because he didn't like the raisinets. And the dad was being like, he was like, oh, I don't understand that you don't like the thing that I like. Like, why?
But the dad was so okay with everything else.
But he wasn't, though. He doesn't like the music. He's such an asshole.
I don't even know if this is he didn't like the music. I think he was just worried that he would end up like him.
Well, he just didn't. Yeah, that's definitely true. But he also just didn't fully understand it at all. Like in that, I think that's most evident in the dinner scene because of the clapback that he has, where he goes, "Same with Lincoln." Well, let's be honest here. One of them is a core member on the actual, like, the thing that's going to lead him to Lincoln, while the other guy plays D3 football, bro. Like, what one has a higher chance of achieving their goals here, Dad? Come on, bro. Stop being an asshole just because you probably played football too, you loser. Come on.
And then the other scene is, I thought it was kind of insane how impressive, well, in theory, if this was real, it would be impressive how intimidating and serious that band is. They walked in and somebody said, and I quote, "Bitch got a foot fetish or something." And then he walked in and they're all instruments up ready to play. Like immediately.
No,
Like
he
on
said,
cue. That door opens, they're ready.
he said, wet the C word. Or like, or something like that to get ready.
No, he said
Milk. Yeah, he said milk. Yeah, which is just fucking crazy. Like I also thought about. I didn't write that down because I was like, I don't think I want to say that. but I was like, I definitely might think about that during the podcast. I'm happy you brought it up because that was insane.
I like whenever Tanner got put in his place, when he was like, "Next time, don't touch my nose or my folder, or like don't touch this hit."
Yeah.
Turn my this, and he's like, "Tanner, we don't have time for this. Like, you're not the core member or whatever."
Yeah.
I really like that scene a lot.
In the mid, there's the scene right before the car crash where he was getting yelled at for being late, and he turned to the guy who took his place, and he goes, "Turn my pages, bitch."
Yeah.
Just, why was that necessary? What?
He was
He was calling one of the members of the band. I don't know super.
You know which one?
I don't.
He's calling him like the mother. Yeah, but
yeah. I keep picking up? Why did he keep calling him back? Why did he keep calling him? I would have just not answered. I'd been like, he's late. I don't care.
The second time watching it, like this time going through it, I thought of it as like the origin story for a famous like musician. And every time he yelled or got over dramatic at any point, I was like, dude, I could just see any musician nowadays or in the 90s or anything like that, like acting like that. That just makes sense to me because they would be like screaming and stuff like, you motherfucker. Like that just fits in my head for a musician.
And the ego.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That.
Dude, exactly that. Yeah. My part. Yeah.
Yeah. Not even that, but whenever he was asked to be the drummer, he's like, oh, why don't you get him to do it? Why don't you get this other guy to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
That was pretty funny.
What a loser. Come on, man.
I'm gonna be honest. I kept teetering back and forth on whether I thought the teacher was trying to help trying to help him before he got fired, or if he was trying to sabotage him because he made him lose his job. I kept teetering back and forth, and then in that final bit, whenever Neiman looks at Fletcher, and he goes, "I'll cue you in."
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, it's 100% teacher. He's not sabotaging anymore.
I do think he tried to sabotage him at the beginning there with the
beginning of the new song.
Yeah. But the second he came back in, I was like, okay, he's into it now. Because that was his, okay, we're even now. I embarrassed you in front of everything. If you're still willing to go with this, I'm willing to fucking teach you. That was beautiful. It was really beautiful. I really liked the direct end of the movie.
But
all right. That's
were there any scenes that anybody did not like?
No, I love this movie. I think this movie is super tight.
When was this published?
2014.
Really?
Yeah.
There's lots of jokes in here that do not fly.
Yeah. Lots of jokes that would no longer make the cut.
Yeah, dude.
814 is fairly late.
Yeah, dude. I like the moment at the beginning where he was like, "That's not your boyfriend's dick. Don't come early."
Yeah. I gotta study that.
That one was pretty funny. And then there's one that was
part down there. Why are you looking?
There is one that wasn't even good, but I liked it because it just kind of like they were all tired. Even Fletcher at insulting them. He was like, "All right, redhead, get up there. You even kind of look like a leprechaun." That was the joke. Yeah. That was it. that was what you were gonna say there, Fletcher? Really? That was an easy one. Yeah, I know.
Probably one more insult. Totally. He did not like that guy.
Totally. Yeah. I thought that was really funny. I was like, come on, that wasn't even good. Just throwing that in there to be mean.
I like another one where he said, "Let's see if you're in the front row because you're cute." Yep, that's why.
Yeah, that was good too.
That's up. Okay.
Like every single line the guy had in the movie was just cinema. It was so good. Are you a rusher? Are you a dragger? Are you gonna be on my fucking time? It's so good, dude.
Whatever, he's just sitting there slapping him too.
Yeah.
Like, am I rushing or am I dragging?
I don't know.
Look what?
Bullshit.
Oh, so you do know the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. That's a peak cinema scene.
The one tweak I think I would like is I think it was in the middle portion. Whenever Andrew gets his own, is it his own place? I think it is.
The shit went down one where after his life starts going to shit.
He seemingly gave up.
Yeah, he kind of did.
I feel like he is the type of person who just wouldn't.
But he did for like that was a 3-month period where he got into a car crash. He got kicked out of his dream school, and he was like, "I lost the only guy that I think could take me to the next step." But the second he got the chance to go back in, he went back in like headstrong. Yes, he did.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, sorry, you shook your head, and I was like,
"No, I was. I have a stuffy nose, so I'm trying to not let it run."
That's so hot, bro. Do you give me on the end of that drip right there?
Yes. Don't worry. Every time I drip, I'll think of you.
Oh hell yeah! I'll be wishing I was there. All right, but what the fuck were we on about? Okay,
I feel like even with all of that happening, he's the type of person that might not be drumming, but he would constantly. Well, I mean, I I guess
We didn't see that time.
he kept showing up to drumming stuff.
Yeah.
And he kept watching drumming things. And that's what I was gonna say. I feel like he would at least still be around it. But
Yeah.
he was. He was still around.
I think he just was demoralized and just needed a couple months to.
Yeah, like his ego got hit.
Yeah, exactly. Because like
And it came back.
I make videos. I do that thing. Ow, that hurt. But like, yeah, you get demoralized sometimes, and you're just like, man, I just don't want to. I just want to play video games tonight. Sometimes that happens. Just do it tomorrow.
I kind of.
But actually do it tomorrow. Like, don't just push it off until tomorrow and then push it off again. Actually do it tomorrow.
That's how I feel every night before an exam. I should be studying, but I don't want to.
Not gonna actually. Not necessarily what I meant with that.
And like gets demoralized in the middle of studying. Goes, man.
I'm just not gonna do it. Yeah,
I'm just not.
Maybe study for the test because that's on a time limit. Maybe do that. Your dreams can wait one day, but the test you should probably study for.
Or study the next day, but that is the day of the test. So, all right, I did one thing I want to say, like one last thing. Even though I didn't find it uberly entertaining, I do think it put a lot of things into perspective. Like I didn't realize just how stressful this can be.
Yeah.
And whenever they're showing those scenes, like before, this might have been before Fletcher like showed up, before they said milk the fill in the blank. They were like, there's lots of quick angles and quick shots of them like shooting things, like licking the mouthpiece and whatnot, and just like the scramble. Like it just that was cool. I like that.
That was what I was talking about. That was Neiman's point of view. He was noticing them getting all like nervous and freaking out and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's good shit, dude. I fucking love this movie.
It put a lot of that into perspective, though, for sure. I wouldn't consider that stuff.
Skylar, I lied to you before. You said, "Would you change anything?" And I said, "No." The end conversation at the bar, cut the dialogue in half, completely in half. I think it would be
take out the saying of the theme.
Yeah, just don't have him tell Neiman what he was doing. Like, we all got it. Even Neiman got it, I bet. Like, I guarantee he got it.
No way he didn't know.
Yeah.
He didn't even want to tell them in the first place.
Well, he knew because there's a reason why Neiman went and watched him play piano. Because he still, like, cared about him because he knew that he was just getting him to go better.
Maybe he didn't know. Because didn't say, what if you're overly excessive? You kind of turn someone away from pursuing it.
Right.
Or
he was still in the in-between period, I guess, whenever he was demoralized.
Maybe he needed that
Maybe.
exposition.
Maybe. I don't know.
I do like at that table he said the one leprechaun was just an incentive for him. He never even
Which is that was one of the things that kind of I was like, we also got that. But I think needed to hear that. I think that was important for him as a character.
Wasn't it kind of obvious that was the case whenever we played this part, and he was like, or he got the core position. He's like, "What over that shit?"
Yeah,
it's like Neiman even knew what he just did wasn't good. Dude, Fletcher still liked it. Like,
I love that the second Leprechaun started playing, and they cut to a scene of Neiman where he like reacts to it. He's like, "I know I'm better than this shit." Like you knew that he was like above it. That was so good. Like this movie really is. The acting is so great, and the writing, I think.
It really is.
Yeah.
So, Zach, since this is yours, do you want to give your number first?
Very confidently, yes. This is a 9.5. This is one of the best movies I've ever seen. And by that, I mean no action. It's just dialogue going from like one thing to another. And it's just people living their lives. That's not like romantic. This is just one of the best ones, like without a doubt. And I'm thinking of another movie that's also related to music, and it's one of the other best movies. We'll watch that a couple years down the line. I honestly don't even remember the name of it. I just know Mark Ruffalo's in it. But like, there's just not really anything I could complain about. And I was really trying to be critical this time because I was like, okay, maybe it was early on in my film critique point of view whenever I watched it. So maybe I just was like blown away by the fact that it was one of my first times watching a good movie that's not an action movie. But I just don't think so. Like I love this movie. All the emotions, all of the one-liners, it's fantastic. It really is, in my opinion. I'm gonna toss it
Chandler.
in. Yeah, there we go.
What, me?
Popcorn Chandler. Yeah,
I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
that's fair.
Just because, like, if we go by how long would it be until you watch it again, I just don't see myself seeing this anytime soon.
That's completely fair, dude.
But yeah, it just wasn't. I just wasn't super entertained. It's just not my forte.
I would like to start off before I give mine. Again, like the biggest thing is it's hard for me to understand the importance if I simply do not know.
Right.
It's very hard for me to understand why being a studio band before that table scene, it's very hard for me to understand why studio band was such a big deal.
Right.
But I'm still gonna give this a 7.5.
Higher than I thought it was gonna be. That's
Yeah, it's a point better than Chandler's. But it's mainly just because it had really good acting and I really related to his like devotion to what he really wanted. Like, despite me not knowing like all the terms and how important everything was, it was easy to tell how bad he wanted it.
yeah.
So
I feel like
them being able to display that through acting and storytelling is pretty special. And what was the other art movie that we reviewed?
Tar, dude. This
Tar.
is so much better than Tar.
This is better
It's
than Tar.
crazy.
Yeah,
This
is easily out of all of the art movies I have watched. This is easily number one.
Yeah.
But
Dude.
I also just don't know how high an art movie can be for me because I'm
That's
not
fair.
in art.
Yeah, that's not your thing. It's not your thing. You're that's fine.
In my art category, this is a perfect. In my all movie category, this is a 70.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
not
7.5. Yeah.
Chandler, we're never. I appreciate Tar. I'm happy I watched Tar. I never want to watch Tar ever again. So we're never gonna do it on the podcast. You're welcome, Skylar.
I watched your review.
Oh, really? Do you remember what it was about?
I just remember you both hated it. You guys had like nothing good to say.
Okay.
And you guys thought it was boring.
I'm good. It slowly grew on me, and Zach was proud of me for that.
It's a good movie. It's just not entertaining like at all.
Yeah,
Like it's a movie that tells a really good and complete story about someone who is the best in their craft, but they're so much of an asshole that it just gets in their way up until the end. But without a doubt, the best part of the movie is that when the character hits their lowest point and they've officially believed that they hit rock bottom, their rock bottom is making music for a Marvel movie. That is so funny to me. It is crazy that they did that in that movie. It's so funny. She's like, she was a composer for like really famous stuff, and she's like, I make art. But then she was like, I can't get a job anymore unless it's for this shit. And then she walks out, and it's like a Star Wars like fill-in, and it just is so funny to me. The moral of that movie is great, but this movie is like insanely better than Tar in like every possible way.
Yeah,
literally
every possible.
Tar was 3 hours. This is an hour and a half. Like,
it's even better in that aspect. It's much easier to watch.
Yeah,
exactly. It's easier to watch, and it's easier to watch.
But the Mediak ranking for this is a point. It's a 78.3%. So we're gonna round it up to an 80%. So 8 out of 10.
Fine.
I'm okay.
8 out of 10.
I'm okay with that. I honestly it's a little disappointing. I kind of assumed that everyone felt the same way about the movie as me. But you know what? At least it's not like we jumped into what was a movie that I thought, like, at least it wasn't Constantine. Like, I like Constantine a lot, and I was really expecting Skylar to like it, and we jumped into that, and he was like, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and that was so sad to me. That really killed me, man.
I also think you might just be able to relate to more of this because between me and Chandler, not a lot of art here, but you easily gap us in the art department.
Yeah. True.
You know what you're talking about much more than Chandler and I.
And in all honesty, I didn't want to say it at the beginning, but I do kind of relate to him like a decent amount in the aspect that I was something that I'm driving towards.
Yeah, it's much easier for you to relate than it is for me or Chandler.
Yeah, definitely. Do you guys want to?
So I understand why yours is much higher than ours, and I feel like if we all had the relative same experience, we would have the relative same score.
Essentially, yeah.
Most of our points deducted are relatability.
Yeah, that's the reason why I got you on here, for diversity. You know, as 3 white guys are talking, but
yeah,
I meant like intellectual diversity. Like we have people from all across the board up here. which is great. We love that. That was kind of the point of bringing Chandler on. I'm not gonna lie. But where's I going with this? Do we want to jump in the news?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I have news.
He has news.
I do.
Do it.
So God of War, the sequel, is currently kind of in production, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
Because they canceled the live service game that they were working on for some reason.
yeah, it was born to make sense. They canceled that in a Horizon live service game. Well, it was gonna be mobile, I think, or something weird.
I'm happy they did that.
They have another Horizon live service game that's not being canceled. Sorry, that's not the point. That's not my news. God of War, they're gonna be making an Egyptian game likely. It's like some leakers going that
Dying
because they're like already hiring some
voice actors, something, right?
yeah, some voice actors to play some like the Egyptian gods, I guess. So we'll see. But they said it's gonna be like likely 2029.
That's okay, man. That gives me time to actually finish the second game. I'll probably finish it by like 2028 or something like that, as I have only like 30% of the game left.
Yeah.
I also have major news, but it relates to sports media.
Okay.
Hit it. Let us hear it.
Luka has been traded to the Lakers in a seemingly terrible trade for the Mavs and a fantastic steal for the Lakers. So I am over the
Are you saving that? Was that planned?
Did I plan that?
Yeah.
No, I have. I've been unconditionally smiling all day.
That's great.
It's been pretty good.
That is pretty. Like, why did they do that? Like,
I don't know. Sometimes you need to trade a 31-year-old star for a 25-year-old superstar and still get a steal out of it. It happens.
I saw a video of, I don't know when this was, but Luka was just drinking a beer and he was pouring onto it. And GM just was like, I'll take that. And just proceeded to walk past him and like handshake everyone. And Luka was just like,
yeah. Another one is De'Aaron Fox got traded to the Spurs. So now Victor Wembanyama, the French huge 7-footer who can hit one-legged threes, has his fan-voted ideal pairing. So it's another big trade.
Let's see if they actually play it,
A lot of blockbusters.
I'm excited. That's going to be sick.
Yeah, it will be exciting because I like De'Aaron Fox. And now he just gets the top 5 player in the NBA. And LeBron gets a top 3.
Yeah.
So overall, a good day for me.
Yeah, Skylar's out here just like eating like a champ.
I really am, which is crazy because even the Dodgers are eating. And that's awesome too. So all my sports teams are going through the moon. As long as I don't play on them, they're going through the moon.
Hell yeah.
But
do you really think Luka's going to make up for the Lakers, though?
Yeah, I think he's going to be absolutely
even though his defense kind of struggles. Like, they're losing defense and gaining offense, essentially.
Yeah, but if we score 140, but we give up 120, we still win the game.
Fair.
Yes.
And I think there's going to be another big trade. I think the Lakers are going to trade somebody like Austin Reeves or another good player for a defensive center because they said they were actively chasing a rim protecting center. So I think they're going to make another trade here soon.
They kind of have to do that.
Yeah, they have to because you can't have... sorry for completely ruining the news section, but...
No, it's okay. I'm taking this time to respond to G.
Or Jack.
This is the diversity we were talking about.
Yeah, this is the diversity. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All of the film heads that are here for me, this is their time to swipe off the video real quick while we answer our girlfriends, and then we come back to listen to the film. No, I'm kidding, Skylar.
Yeah, it's completely fine. Some people will only tune in for my 5 minutes.
That's portion.
Dude,
listen to here.
No, I'm being for real. Recently I went through and I looked at all of the stats that they give me for certain episodes. There is someone who only listens to the end of our episodes.
I want to see how good I sound.
Yeah, probably. Skylar. That's funny.
It's funny. But I think they're gonna continue to be more big trades for pretty much up until the deadline. I'm not exactly sure when the deadline is. I forget all of the time. There are so many different deadlines. But yeah, I think there's going to be a couple more blockbusters because now that Luka's moved, every team's frantic about being oh, well, they have that now. So how are we going to compete? And they're going to trade for something.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. Who knows? A team like the Caden, if you're watching, Boston Celtics don't need to make a trade.
Caden's not watching. It's 45 minutes in.
Probably not, but if he does,
yeah, in the off chance,
Boston Celtics will not be making a trade. I could almost guarantee it. They still have the best team in the NBA.
No, he's totally not. This is the Whiplash episode, Skylar. He's totally not listening. If this was like Suicide Squad or Venom 2, then maybe, but like it's not. So
that's true. So I do have one more question for you.
I think you're jumping the gun here, maybe. It was the question.
Like I am.
He still has things to say.
Wait.
That is true. You still have, you can go for a toss-up.
All this is thoughts for the new segment.
It's our time.
Yeah, you guys just completely. Hey, I don't care. Hey, I've said it a million times. I hate the news segment, so if you just want to skip it.
I love the news, though.
You're right. I'll keep
it's
going.
Good for us because we hear it in real time, but it's bad for them because they get their days.
Yeah, right. It's so useless. It's just like, because I collect this over the course of a week, so it's like it's gonna be like week and a half old news whenever they hear it, and it always, it doesn't matter. It's a segment of the episode.
Like there's most things. There are some people you will inform somebody.
Also, yeah, like this is for me too. Like I would not be informed on some of this stuff if I didn't search for it. But I guess we can go at it. I'm only complaining because it's the only step of the podcast that is actual effort for me. But it's whatever. So we got some MCU news. The Russo brothers are apparently, this is not confirmed at all, just a couple of leaks have said this is true. They're helmed for all of the X-Men projects in the MCU. I just don't think that's true, or if it is true, I don't think that's going to stay true. But
who knows?
Who knows? What if they're crazy? You never know. So before I say the next thing I'm going to say the lineup completely of Marvel things that are coming out this year. We get 9 Marvel projects coming out. One of them already started. Spider-Man, the new animated TV show, started last Wednesday. Daredevil starts in March. Ironheart starts in June. Eyes of Wakanda starts in August. Marvel Zombie starts in October, and Wonder Man is in December. Those are all the TV shows. We got Captain America in February. We got Thunderbolts in May, and Fantastic Four in July. There's really honestly not a whole lot that I'm very excited for out of this. Daredevil, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and Wonder Man, basically it. And I also wasn't excited for Wonder Man until I watched the trailer for it. And then after watching the trailer, I was like, this looks like genuinely amazing. So, yeah. Do you know what it's about?
No clue, but I remember when I saw it, I was like, I'm intrigued. I just knew, like, Wonder Man, like, what can go wrong with that name? Like, superpower or superhero. That's a superhero name, right?
Yeah. There were two. There's a bunch of different Wonder Men, but the one that they're going with is an actor without superpowers who's playing a character named Wonder Man in a movie that's going to be in the MCU, and he's being trained to be an actor by Trevor Slattery from Iron Man 3 and Shang-Chi. And that just fucking sounds amazing to me. Like, I feel like that's the type of thing that they wouldn't be making unless they had a crazy script for it. Because who the fuck is asking for that? You know?
You know the body one more time you said in the movie? He's
auditioning for a role in a movie that's going to be in the MCU called Wonder Man.
Huh.
Do you get it?
That sounds hella meta. Like,
I don't care, man.
She-Hulk too.
It kind of is a little bit, but like, no. I read the description and I was like, okay, that could be fine. But then I watched the trailer and I was like, these two have great chemistry and this looks really fucking funny. So I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be really good, actually. Fantastic Four better be good or I'm going to kill someone. And Thunderbolts.
Get ready.
You're probably right, bro.
Pedro Pascal, you cannot go wrong.
That's just not true. I love him with all of my heart, but he is also
a bad movie.
Give me a sec. I'm excited for Thunderbolts. I genuinely am excited for Thunderbolts. I think that looks really good. Like, honestly, it looks really, really good. And I think that's another thing that I think they wouldn't have been making unless it was good, because that's been in the cooker for like 6 years, you know? Well, I mean, I guess The Flash came out and that was in the cooker for like 10 years. I love that movie, but a lot of people don't.
What about Black Adam? That's been in
the cooker for a while, and that movie's fire. Let's be honest here. I have a perfect bad movie that Pedro Pascal is in. Wonder Woman 84. One of the worst superhero movies ever made. So, checkmate. He's also in the 3rd season of The Mandalorian, which sucked. He's in a movie called We Can Be Heroes, which is bad.
But think of all of this great.
He has a lot of greats.
Probably not as great is more likely than the bomb.
Right. One of the things I mentioned, which is a TV show called Ironheart, I'm not really excited for because the only bit we got of Ironheart was not good. So I just don't care to see more of this character. But there was a leak that made me relatively interested in it. Alden Ehrenreich, who plays young Han Solo in the Solo movie, and I actually really like him as an actor. I think he's great. He'll play... This is spoilers for Ironheart. Do you guys care?
No, go for it.
Chandler?
Is it just like the antagonist?
Maybe?
Then I don't care.
Okay. So, Alden Ehrenreich is playing a character named Zeke Stain, who is Obadiah Stain's son. And you don't know it's Obadiah Stain's son because he goes by the alias Joe McGillicuddy, and he sells black market tech to her for several episodes until he's revealed. I think that's the dumbest name ever. Joe McGillicuddy? What the fuck? Like, if you're picking an undercover name, why that one? Like, that's gonna make people look into it more. Like, I'd Google McGillicuddy if someone ever said that to me. Apparently, some of the higher-ups for the people who made Coyote versus Acme did a final funeral screening because that movie is officially never coming out, even though it tested very positively and apparently is a really great movie written by James Gunn, acted by, man, I'm blanking on his name, but he's from The Last Man on Earth. He's just a really funny guy. So the Arcane, this is the next news. Sorry, that was a bad transition. The studio who made Arcane is interested in adapting Vagabond for Crunchyroll, and they're talking with the co-founder of the people who produce it right now to see if they're able to do that, which would be pretty cool because that was always one of the things that was considered unanimatable. And Arcane looks beautiful. Like, it is amazing, regardless of what you think about the second.
It actually looks like the millions of dollars some of the millions of dollars they put into it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, brother. We got some pictures of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein movie with Oscar Isaac as Dr. Frankenstein, and I don't know who this person is, but you guys might. Jacob Elordi, he is playing the monster. Anything? Nope. Okay, cool. Doesn't matter. I think that's going to be amazing because Oscar Isaac is awesome. He's going to play an amazing Victor. Guillermo del Toro is one of the greatest directors to ever do it, so I'm excited for that. Chris Evans claims he is not returning in Avengers Doomsday, but he also said that about Deadpool and Wolverine when they asked him if he was in it. He said, I don't see why I would be in that. And then he was. So,
yeah, what didn't he say he's happily retired?
He said happily retired. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. Like,
if you're retired, wouldn't be the Daredevil.
Oh,
or, sorry, Daredevil.
I bet you are, brother. I bet you are. We got the title for this a while ago, but we got a couple pictures for the Knives Out 3 called Wake Up Dead Man. Daniel Craig has long hair in this one, which is interesting. So it takes place a decent lead.
He's so interesting in those movies.
I love those movies. I got to get on that TV show too, Poker Face, because that's in that universe too.
Really?
Yeah, she's like one of the detectives that works with him. Or something like that. Skylar, have you seen Knives Out, either of them?
No, but isn't that also with Glass Onion?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I vaguely know.
Yeah.
But like I haven't seen it, but vaguely familiar.
We should do that sometime next year. Whenever this comes out, we could do
next February. You know who got all the picks.
That's true, yeah, dude. I'm gonna lock it in. We could do Knives Out, Glass Onion, Poker Face, and then round it out with
my redemption. Though.
What? That was gonna be your redemption? Nah, I'm kidding, bro. It's okay.
Chandler, I would have felt really bad if that was your redemption movie and I still just didn't like it.
That would be no, Skylar. I
like Knives Out. It's good.
Yeah, I like that. That's a Skylar movie. I think like it's a movie, but it also is a Skylar movie. I think it's gonna be great.
what a Skylar movie is, but I'm excited to see.
How do you think those compared to like Murder on the Orient Express?
It's so much better than that.
Yeah, that's what I think.
It's like it's literally night and day.
Or the most recent one.
I did not watch the most recent one. I thought it looked so bad.
It wasn't really.
Yeah, I figured not. Next news. So with the very high praise that the Spider-Man show has been getting, they announced that apparently the scripts for season 2 are completely done and they're halfway through the animatics already. So
what? Right?
For this new Spider-Man TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're like basically done. No, that's not true at all. They have a lot left to do, but they're a lot further along into season 2 than I thought they would be for releasing the first 2 episodes last Wednesday. You know, like who would have thought? The final thing of news is it's gonna sound scary. I don't think it means anything, but the Superman creators are suing Warner Brothers and DC to block the new Superman movie from viewing. It sounds scary, but apparently the estate that owns Superman has been... Nope, that's a lie. They don't actually even own Superman. Their grandfather created Superman and sold it to Warner Brothers DC in the 90s, and they've just been insanely litigious since then. Warner Brothers... I'm not a fan of Warner Brothers, especially, and like all corpo stuff, and I'm usually very anti-corpo, so what I say next, like, I feel like that holds a little bit more weight, but I think they're actually in the right this time around. They're just trying to release a movie, and this notoriously litigious group are like, we're going to fight this. So that's something that's going to happen. We're still going to get Superman. We were always going to get Superman. They're probably just going to pay them like $100,000 and then walk away.
Okay, I was going to say, why they be so stubborn about it? They're probably expecting to pay out.
Yeah, they're probably being like, we'll stop being annoying if you give us money. So
Warner Bros. Can cover that.
Yeah, they're fine. No, they actually can't. They're really not doing the best right now. So
this movie is going to rebound.
Let's hope. This movie is going to... It's going to be their moneymaker. Like, I would be shocked if Superman doesn't make $1 billion. Like,
how much is
that confident?
I am that confident. Like, Man of Steel is mid. Like, it's about 50-50 if you watch that movie, you actually like it. And that made a lot of money. That made like 700,000.
I guess it is still the superhero name.
It's
so,
also it's like
Superman name.
Superman has never been done right before. So like the second this movie comes out, and hopefully he's done right, all the Superman fans are gonna love it. All the people who like stupid action are gonna love it. All the James Gunn fans are gonna love it. This is gonna make $1 billion. I'd be shocked if it doesn't. Even if it's bad, the amount of hype for this movie will get it halfway to the goal in the first weekend. Like, I guarantee it. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Whatever.
No, that does. Like, I mean, if people are expecting it to be really good and they're going, the idea is going to be really good, they're going to show up regardless of what anybody else says.
And if it's the first weekend, there's not enough time for word to spread about it being booty cheeks.
Yeah. Also very true.
Yeah. I don't know how to... Skylar, did you...
Oh,
I didn't know what to do. I had to somehow bring it back up, and I'm tired.
What do you think Zach has been watching?
Watching.
I gotta guess.
No, he wasn't.
I gave a hint to Chandler when we played zombies the other day.
He's not watching Game of Thrones.
Definitely not.
I know that.
That's a fact.
He's.
I know he's watched.
I'm sorry, I forget.
You have to guess. Okay.
I know he's been playing Call of Duty.
Yeah,
it's like couple games.
I know we've been playing Dokkan. This was the 10th year anniversary. Me and Skylar recorded a video. The DLC 2 for Zombies came out. Me and Chandler recorded a video. That video's still working. You'll see whenever it comes out, because the second recording didn't go as well as we planned to go. But that's okay.
Totally completed Easter egg and everything. There's just some.
It's totally done. We just had to go and do something. We're good gamers, guys. Come on.
Promise.
Yeah, I promise. Yeah. I didn't really watch. I started Inuyasha again, but mainly as just something to fall asleep. And I only restarted it because I was like, I'm
crazy. Well, it feels like a diss. I needed something to fall asleep.
No. Like I watched the entirety of the first 2.5 seasons of Inuyasha, and I need a refresher. So I just restarted it, but I'm falling asleep to it as it goes.
So I love how you were saying,
No.
I can't fall asleep. I need something to make me sleep.
No, I love Inuyasha. Inuyasha's great. It's an old anime. I don't. It's a girl goes back in time, and it turns out that her ancestor like trapped a demon, and then she freed the demon, but apparently he's a good demon.
How old are we talking? Like
From the 90s.
Oh, okay.
Like a little bit older than One Piece, but it looks way better than One Piece. In my
Like 18.
Yeah. What?
And he said how old.
Yeah, she's definitely 18. She's totally 18. She's not 18 in the show. She's not. Definitely not. But that's not one of the reasons I like it. Just saying. I have to get that out there.
Actually, negative in my mind.
Well,
But
the fact that they do sexualize her a little bit is a pretty massive negative, but like, especially in the 90s, like they're still bad with it today. Like Rebecca from One Piece is fucking terrible. Yeah, but it's something I just kind of, I know it's not good, but I do just kind of ignore it now whenever I'm watching older anime. Sadly,
They're quite good at that, and Dan did.
Yeah, dude, that's the main reason why I haven't watched it yet, because I just don't want to get over that hurdle at all.
I felt a little awkward watching some moments, but I have a friend who really doesn't care for stuff like that at all, like whatsoever. And he had no issue. Like he never brought it up. So maybe like he didn't think it was that big of a deal, but like he also watched Devil May Cry.
Devilman Crybaby, literally one of the greatest shows ever made. And I know that there is some of that stuff in there, but like it's so good.
Before that.
The themes of that show are on another level. If you don't like, if you either are going to be really confused or you're going to be insanely emotional when the end of the show happens. Like that's just kind of how it is. It's fucking crazy. That movie is.
Buster Run is the best.
That
Yeah, grab him in the air, throwing it.
It's so good. That show's amazing. I'm not worried about missing out on Dan to Dan because we have some at least we have one highly animated show coming up. Oh, you guys are gonna fucking cry next week. This is gonna be awesome. This month is amazing. I'm so excited. We got some fucked up shit coming next week, guys. But the only other thing that I watched this week was I actually started the Spider-Man show, and it's very good. It's very good.
Okay.
It is very good.
Are you up on Solo Leveling?
No, actually, I'm not. I've only watched the first 2 episodes of the season that I watched 2 months ago.
I'm not concurrent either. I want to be, but I'm not around.
I've been watching a lot of One Piece too, because I just kind of always watch that with my mom. That's just what we hang out and do. But one day we were just like, well, the new Spider-Man show is out, and I don't necessarily like want to watch it or I'm excited for it, but it got good reviews and it's a new thing. So we put it on. It's pretty good. It actually is pretty fucking good. Like it's probably what?
Luna Snow's in there?
Not yet, but she will be eventually. There's if you get really upset and you think that them changing certain aspects of the character is woke, if you do think that, then you probably aren't gonna like about 2 minutes of the show. But other than, I'm gonna spoil that. I'm actually gonna spoil both of the things that people are obsessively angry about right now, because I don't think they're that big of a deal and people need to calm the fuck down. So Norman and Harry Osborn are black. Whatever, who cares? He had the hair since he came out, so it makes sense. The other thing that people are upset about, like really upset about, is that Dr. Connors, the lizard, is a girl. Again, it's who cares? Like you can have them do the exact same character beats. Like it doesn't change anything at all, actually.
Yeah, it's not like Dr. Connor's name was Dr. Super Manly Guy.
Super. He also wasn't a super manly guy. He's a fucking lizard.
Dude.
And I have some people at work though that are pressed about that.
Really?
Yeah, they are.
That's crazy to me.
You know,
like I just don't get that. Like
they definitely get pressed whenever it's like an origin, first of the kind, and they don't do it comic book accurate. So for example, I have one guy who doesn't like the new Fantastic or Silver Surfer because evidently it's going to be a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And he does not like that whatsoever.
Who fucking cares? Iron Man's been Silver Surfer. Like, Doom has been Silver Surfer. I started writing a video because I'm so passionate about what I'm going to say next. And I'm fine with spoiling this because it's literally so long down the line of my schedule that it doesn't, like, no one's going to remember. Like, you guys are going to forget. So I'm fine with the audience forgetting too. I think very, 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 very strongly that when you're adapting something, you have to change it. Because it completely eliminates the reason to go back to the original thing. Like, the best adaptations that I'm thinking of right now, The Last of Us and Dune. I don't really want to read the book Dune anymore, and I literally never want to play the video game ever again, because I hate that game. The best part about that game was the story, and I can watch the show. Like, I think that if you don't change it, I just said that, but it really just negates one of the reasons to do it. And I think that changing it is a good thing because that gives it more versatility to the character. Have you guys, you definitely didn't read it, but have you heard of DC's Absolute series?
No.
Okay, it's DC's newest line of comics. They do reboots like every 10 years or whatever like that. But their thing this time was like, we're going to keep aspects of the characters, but we're going to change their entire origin just so that the audience can know that they're this character regardless of how they came. So Batman is a poor kid from Gotham who never had like anyone at all, no Alfred, no nothing, and he's still Batman. It's honestly like one of the best Batman runs in general. And I think that should be how the movies like do it. Like, I don't think it should be one for one, but the aspects of the heroes that make the heroes should stay. Like, you don't have to have Batman. Like, I would prefer if we didn't see Bruce Wayne's parents get killed again in whatever adaptation we get for the DCU, because we've seen it a billion fucking times. But he can't kill, and he has to be Batman. Like those are the things that only matter, in my opinion.
I do agree with your opinion, because if you make the same story multiple times, people are just going to pick the best one, and then the others are simply irrelevant.
That's what happened with Spider-Man. You know?
Yeah. And I do think adding like that little bit of uniqueness at least will resonate with somebody. Mm-hmm. They'll be like, I like that more.
Yeah.
Or some people are like, I like that less. And then they're just going to go to the other one, which if that one was better done, they were going to go to either way. But if, like, I'm trying to think of like a decent example, but I just unable to think on the spot right now.
I can add to this. I can fill in. So I understand that, like, with a lot of comic book stuff, we would love to see it on the big screen, and maybe just out of the comic book it.
Comics aren't long enough
story, but if you copy like what the comic book is, it's gonna be. I can only make an analogy to like Disney and their live actions. It's literally a carbon copy, and no one. We don't like that. So why would we need some adaptability? I mean.
Also, I love comics, but the writing doesn't need to be as intense, and also they're not long enough. Like, have you guys seen the adaptation of The Killing Joke?
I don't think so.
It's fucking horrible. It's one of the worst animated movies ever, because they had to add 30 minutes to the beginning of it so it could be feature length. When the actual Killing Joke is a really concise. It's probably not one of my favorite comic books, but it is a very good comic book. And that movie just completely ruins it. If you watch that, you're never going to read the comic book because you thought it was shit and you're like, I don't want to see what this was adapted from, which is terrible.
It's true. I forgot it could have the adverse effect that the newer one could be so bad that it ruins the other ones.
Yeah. I think comic books specifically shouldn't ever be adapted one for one because I just don't think you can do it in a way that's going to be good.
I mean, there are some that are like really good comic book movies. I mean, it's a first one, but they're not common. But I don't even know if one changes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I tell you what the original Spider-Verse was, Skylar? The original Spider-Verse was a vampire guy who really liked specifically sucking the blood of Spider-Man. So he gathered all of the Spider-Man throughout the universe to try and get like an infinite source of spider blood.
That dude's kind of smart.
that was an oversimplification, and it's been like 6 years since I've read it, but like that's not the same thing. In the movie's way better, like infinitely better.
Not the same thing yet. We haven't seen part 3.
Not the same thing yet.
What if that vampire was Morbius?
is so crazy. They are kind of actually doing this plot line in Marvel Rivals right now, legitimately, which is kind of funny. But this whatever. I don't care. What have you guys been watching? I've been kind of mumbling.
Yeah, Chandler, you're up. You're up to bat.
Yup. Twang.
Just a couple of things. I picked up Castlevania again because I likewise even showed I fall asleep too. But not for that reason.
Wow.
Not for that reason. Not for that reason. With the exact same as like Zach, all right? I just needed to show like a good show. I don't watch a boring show to fall asleep.
Yeah, exactly. You want to get hype a little.
Really, you watch your boring show to fall asleep.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
I'll fall asleep regardless. Enjoy the last minutes of consciousness.
I thought you get so immersed that you couldn't.
That's happened to me with One Piece, so I attest to that.
I don't know. I sometimes you just get so tired that you just your brain instantly. But pick that up again. It's the fourth season. So after that, I can go on to that Nocturne stuff.
Nocturne season 1 is fucking crazy in the last like 4 episodes, but they do something with a character that makes sense and is probably well written, but it's not why I watch Castlevania, and it feels not enjoyable for a period of time. And I think in Nocturne season 1, sorry.
Both.
I haven't watched season 2 yet. Me and G are watching original Castlevania, and we're just gonna, once we catch up, we're just gonna keep going.
Okay. But you still liked it?
I loved Nocturne. I thought it was really good, and I think that the end kind of really makes up. It like I said, I think it's well written, and I think it makes sense and is. I really am fighting to say good because I don't want to say it, but it is good. Mm. It's just whenever I picture like characters like the character I'm thinking of, like I don't. Sorry, a really loud noise just happened. I don't like. I just don't care for that. I know this is so fucked up because it's an emotional thing and it makes sense for him to have gone through that kind of change. I want to watch my badass characters do badass things, you know?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what you mean by
that. Yeah, I'm trying to be vague because I know you're excited for
it.
You should
be. That.
Yeah.
Just finishing up Horizon. I finished the game. Now I'm doing the DLC for it. I'm definitely gonna be buying the sequel. I can't. It's so much fun. I'm having a blast just playing it all. And then thirdly, Phasmophobia.
I've heard
it's what that game is.
The horror game?
It is fun. Yes, it is so much fun. You guys know, Keep Talking and No One Explodes.
Yeah.
No.
So we played it, right, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like I like to play it via a VR device. So like one person gets to see the bomb, only one person can see the bomb, and everyone else has like a manual. And depending on what components are on the bomb, you have to talk and be like, "This thing has 10 wires. What do I do next?" Oh,
it's a bomb diffusion manual to be specific, Skylar. So yeah, everyone has.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you. They have all of the answers to every single puzzle, while the person has to try and describe what the puzzle looks like to you, and you have to try and figure it out. It's actually a really fun game.
That makes more sense. I thought one person was watching a bomb, and every time there was a little silence, the fuse went down a little bit.
No. It's like you have 2 minutes to solve 6 puzzles, and you have to properly explain what the puzzles look like, and then the people with the manual have to explain properly how to solve the puzzles.
Yeah. So, like, for example, there can be one like Morse code where the person sees the light flickering. And so you'd be like, so the person with the bomb,
that's a hard one.
Beep, pause, beep, 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 pause. And like the people with the manual are supposed to listen to what you're saying and look for like, oh, that was an H. Yeah. That was an L. And then you put in the code to diffuse it.
I like the one that's
really
like
complicated, complex.
It like shows you, I don't remember exactly what it shows you, but it shows you like a color or a number or something. And that tells you the order in which you have to press certain shapes. Like that one's super easy for me.
Yes.
I have that one on lock.
I want to play the game again. Anyway,
it's a great game.
Phobia reminds me of that. So so essentially you're in a house and you have 5 minutes to determine where the ghost is in the room. And you have clues. Like we're talking about like those puzzles that you solve. You can get like a flashlight, a UV light, or in a couple other devices that will detect if there's a ghost. And if a certain device detects it, it only refers to a couple ghosts or entities as to who it can be. And you can just narrow down who the list is until you can determine what actual ghost. And there's proximity chat. You have to hide when the ghost comes out. It's very fun and just chaotic. But I've only played a couple hours of that. Say, Sky, we have to play both.
I want to play. Is it free?
No, that's my probably is $20.
Mm.
But that could be a fun. And it could, like, if you guys want to eventually get that up or stream that.
That'd be a fun stream. I think
There would be.
I think that'd be a fun stream. Yeah, I love shit like that. Like, I'm not a big fan of like all day streams. I think like a solid 1 to 2 hours, but that 1 to 2 hours is super interesting the entire way through. You know, like that's my ideal stream. Like I don't want to go into peeling behind the curtains. I don't want to go into a stream without any jokes prepared or like ideas for things that I want to do in the middle of it. Skylar, Chandler, ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Sky,
God.
what have you been watching? we fucking nailed that on my end. We nailed that on my end, Chandler. We fucking killed that.
On my end, you were 2 seconds after me, but
I'm trying to play it. But on my end, dude, okay, it doesn't matter. Next time we're gonna fucking kill it. We said the same words, though. We said the same words. Yes.
You did. All that matters is, Scott, did you hear at the same time?
No, but it's because, like, I have a delay, and Zach was working with his delay, and you were, like, playing it.
Yeah.
So Zach is delayed, and he's delayed, but Zach's is really the only one that matters. Since he's the one recording it.
Right. Dude,
Yeah.
and that's okay because we fucking nailed it. Let's go.
We know next time.
I'll start off with the easier ones, and then I'll hit you with some shockers at the end, because there's one shocker. So obviously I'm 1 episode behind on solo leveling because I wasn't available yesterday.
How many are out right now?
4.
4. Okay.
4 episodes?
Yeah.
I think we're at like 6. I've watched a couple. I've definitely watched more than 4, but I'm pretty sure the last one I saw was 5, so I think this would make 6. I'm still watching One Piece. Sorry, I'm looking now because now I'm. Oh wait, it does it weird, but the new solo leveling is season 2, episode 17. So, however that goes, there's not
5.
Okay.
I was kind of right.
And yeah, so I'm 1 episode behind on that. I still have not picked up Daima again since I need to. I really need to.
Last episode was good, actually. I'm going to be honest about that.
I just really need. I'm really trying to get through one, but not.
Dude, that dog episode.
I'm really trying to spend most of my time to go to One Piece.
Fair. Like, and the episode you left off on is a tough one too. Like that's the worst episode of the show by far.
You mean the worst thing?
I've been doing that.
No. Sorry, I'm talking about Dragon Ball Daima.
Yeah.
Daima 1 was a stinker.
Yeah. That's okay. I like Daima, and I find the adventure really charming, and the animation is good. But that where they fight the giant and the giant dog shit. That is like the bottom of the barrel trash. Not what I was expecting from the show. It's okay though. They picked it up. Kind of.
I've still been reading Black Clover, but I'm at a much slower rate because I've been so busy that my time in the gym, I'm actually going like one into another. So I'm not like stopping and reading much.
I have been
like you supersetting.
What?
You supersetting? You know what you mean?
Not supersetting. I'm giving myself like such a small rest. I'm literally taking like a drink of water.
Oh, when I worked out, I always superset.
At my gyms, I feel bad supersetting at mine because it'll be like, yeah, there's like 6 people, and I don't want to superset, and like they're all older than me, so like I don't want to superset somebody who has a job and like needs to go home to his kids. No. Like I don't want to superset and take that away from them. So I'm just gonna do all of it.
I get that actually.
There are people at my gym who do superset the entire gym. They superset 5 things at one time. There is more than one of them too. which is insane. And every time I have to do the same thing as them, I just know I'm not getting it the entire time I'm there. And it's not like I'm like 30 minutes in and out. Like I'm anywhere from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, and I will not touch that machine one time. So I've been doing that. Obviously, still been going to the gym. Chandler and I just played in a tournament yesterday, and I am glad to say this is the best my knees have ever felt after a tournament. I feel like I didn't even play in it.
Dude, you're on the top of the world right now.
Dude, I really am. Okay, so I think that is all I have.
It's a surprise.
I've been playing Rivals and
That's the
Minecraft.
surprise?
No. I'm trying to think of everything before the surprise.
Right.
I've been playing Rivals, Minecraft, FIFA occasionally, obviously Dokkan because it's his 10th anniversary, and I like the anniversary.
Yeah. It's
So
far one of the best anniversaries.
before the surprise, I made fun of you both for watching a good show to fall asleep. I watch One Piece until I fall asleep. Cat's out the bag. I do the same thing.
Cat's out the
But
bag.
One Piece, there have been multiple times where I try and go to sleep by like midnight just because I want to wake up at like 7 the next morning. And there have been a couple nights where I've stayed up until 1:30 because I'm like, well, I'm not leaving off here.
Wow, what a-
And then I
keep
I-
going.
Yeah, I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
So then I keep watching, and then I'm very mean the next morning because I didn't sleep enough.
Yeah.
So the shocker I watched is I watched one half of 50 Shades of Grey. I keep saying Grey's Anatomy, 50 Shades of Grey. One half of it.
Why? Like, what can tell Lily?
Yep.
Yeah, I figued so. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
she picked
That's
the random
why
movie.
I knew. She said that was not a
Yeah,
random
yeah,
movie.
I
She
was
picked that deliberately. You know that.
We watched half of it, and then I immediately fell asleep. I was like, it was yesterday night. So in my defense, I woke up early for a tournament, played in a tournament all day, went home, went to the gym, and then ate dinner at. Me and Lily got out of dinner at 9 o'clock, and I got back to my place by like 9:30.
I don't.
So
I don't.
we
think
started
this is
this
one of
movie
those movies
at
that you need a defense of. If anyone has seen 50 Shades of Grey, that's a movie to fall asleep in. It just is.
Yeah. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was fading in and out. I mean, not that the movie was bad. I really didn't see much. But I don't know. Lily likes it, I think.
Because it's just porn. It's just like a non. No, I'm being serious. Like it. Next time you watch
I
it,
got that from the bits I did see.
the movie is
God,
literally
that part
just
is
2
so
hours of like tension and porn. Like that's all it is. It's what's the word for it? It's like for the people. No, it's not soft at all. They actually show a lot. But
I do vaguely remember seeing man ass a couple times, and I was pretty upset.
It's a
Because
movie
Lily
for-
told me that would not be a thing. Because I see enough of that in Game of Thrones.
It's a movie for people who are against porn, but like are somehow okay with it if it's in a movie. You know, like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not my thing, you know. If I want to watch that, I'll watch it myself. You know, like not on a screen where other people could come in and watch it with me. You know.
Gonna watch myself.
Yeah. No, not what? No. Hey.
That one needs to be an out of
Yeah,
context
someone
clip.
should clip that. That was great.
Yeah, so that is my shocker. And
Soccer. Sorry. That's
so I also watched a bit of the Grammys before this.
I did.
I thought Lily was gonna want to finish 50 Shades of Grey because I had like an hour and we have like 50 minutes left. But no, she wanted to watch the Grammys. So
Cool.
we watched the Grammys.
sick. Real quick,
Yeah,
before
so-
we get out, I do actually have one quarrel. What does Lily think about the Taylor Swift drama that's going on right now? What does she think?
What is the Taylor Swift drama?
Blake Lively called out some guy for possibly sexually assaulting her, but it turns out that it was a smear campaign against this guy, and now Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively look really, really bad. But Taylor Swift was best friends with the two of them, so recently she discommunicated herself with Blake Lively. However, the trial for the sexual assault thing is still going on. So right now, it looks like Taylor Swift stepped out on her best friend in the middle of her sexual assault case while it's still undecided?
I don't know. The only thing I could tell you is that she liked Taylor Swift's dress for the beginning of the Grammys.
I bet it was
Red.
nice.
It was red.
That's cool.
And she had like a little T. I
don't know what
like
it means.
story on.
Red for Kansas City
And then,
for Travis.
well, yeah,
Okay.
it definitely is.
Man, that's really gonna hit hard next year when they break up and that song comes out. Like, that's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna hit hard when they unfortunately win the Super Bowl.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Let's hold our opinions until next
in
podcast.
NFL history.
Yeah, we'll see.
A three-peat is enough for Michael Jordan to be the GOAT. So if anybody says Patrick Mahomes isn't the GOAT after a three-peat, I'm throwing Michael Jordan back in their face. So I'm pretty excited. I'm either a winner. It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Chandler's a blank face right now. He just does not care. Same
Oh
here.
yeah, Chandler. I will be obnoxious.
The best
I
thing to
don't
come out of the
believe that.
Super Bowl was a picture of Bikini Bottom on fire, and it was like a picture of Philadelphia if the Eagles lose and or win the Super Bowl.
No, I severely dislike
What do I keep?
the clips I've seen of Philadelphia fans. I don't want to say all Philadelphia.
Yeah, dude.
They're not that bad, but they're
Half of-
always in the worst spotlight.
Half of G's family is Philadelphia fans, and they're like awesome, but that city sucks. Like, I love G's family out there. Like, they're all really funny, and even the like interesting ones are still funny. But the fans out there in Philly and the city itself, just not my favorite. But that's okay.
Here's a shocker for you.
Shocker.
Early wants the Eagles to win the Super Bowl.
I do
Not
too.
the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you would think she'd want the Chiefs.
Why? Oh, Taylor Swift. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, she wants the Eagles.
Wow.
Tired
You
of
want to know who the majority of people want to win the Super Bowl?
No one.
not the Chiefs. Not even
Yeah,
a specific team, just not the Chiefs.
No, I was just gonna make a little joke. I saw like this reel where it had like a image of the United States and it circled Kansas City and put like their logo. They want Kansas City to win, and then in Philadelphia, same thing with the Eagles. And then everywhere else in the country was grayed out saying Mediak strike. That's what.
Why is that like actually true though? I saw another joke that, you know, that scene from The Dark Knight Rises where the football field explodes, and it was like,
Oh, yeah.
what happened during the Super Bowl? Oh, it's whatever. Who cares? I had a quarrel. I don't even remember it.
Yeah, what you said, it was about Taylor Swift.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, and the drama.
Look, his opinion.
I'm curious about the drama though. What is Ryan Reynolds like a bad? I don't know what you're saying.
He just seems like a pretty jealous boyfriend for the most part, and it seems like they're a little bit egotistical. I maybe I'm being a little bit light because I like Ryan Reynolds, but it does seem like they went out of their way to deliberately like ruin this guy's life, like full on. Which my mom she's so into it, dude. Like, so I know a decent amount of it because she just loves this courtroom drama with anytime there's a courtroom thing with celebrities. Like, she knows every piece of information about it, and she just tells me about it, and I'm like, Mom, stop it. I like Ryan Reynolds. I can't hearing this. Like, come on. You can't do this to me. But it's okay. It's whatever. I mean, an actor was egotistical. What else is new, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in this movie, so
There was. Oh, what a way to tie it back, Jake.
Good way to loophole it. I'm not loophole it, like bring it all back to bookend it. That's what I meant to say. All right. With that, I have all my quarrels out this week. Are you guys ready to go? It's been an hour and a half. Longer end.
Yeah. I like to roll out.
Yeah. Alrighty. I guess we'll see you guys next week with my next picked movie, which is Seven. I'm very excited for that. All right. We'll see you.
I have a breakdown.